PMAC Movies, back for another PMAC Movies video. I got a small stack of stuff, including a few items I got from the Vinegar Syndrome sale here recently. That's only going to take a few minutes, though. But I want to talk about the new year coming and some self-improvement with your movie collecting habits here on PMAC Movies. I also turned my little desk around here for today so that you could see behind me another section of movies that I don't think... I usually have it turned this way, and I just turned it this way. So behind me, we got like... up there's F's, and then so on to the H's down here. And then over here we have down to, I think, M's are at the bottom. And then continuing on over there where I usually have my desk. So you'll be able to see some different stuff behind me than you usually can. Something for the fans that really pay attention and want to see the movies behind me. And then on the other side, I could just turn my little desk totally around 180, and you'd be able to see some box sets and some TV series over there. But and you know, we'll mess around with this. We'll change it up so that I don't have my desk in the same spot every time, so you can kind of see, you know, the whole collection through a variety of videos. So for the people that just want to haul, we will take a look at that first, and then I'll just talk a little bit. I don't have anything in particular, just kind of discussing collecting habits, maybe some ways that I want to improve my collection/collecting habits, and then maybe some suggestions for other people. And so let's go ahead. I did one that I wanted because I didn't have it on Blu-ray. I think I do have it on DVD somewhere, but I wanted the 4K of it. The Steelbook, a little bit too expensive, but I did go ahead and get Young Guns here on 4K. It was from Target. It ended up being a fairly reasonable price with like a 20% off and whatnot. But we got Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen, Dermot Mulroney, and whoever Casey Siemaszko is. For the Blu-ray, I think I read weak things about the Blu-ray, and then I just, never really cared for the artwork that much. But I like how they made this one pretty nice with like a glossy slipcover, and the color of it I thought looked pretty good. So I like this one. I like this release, and this is one that I think if you wait, you'll be able to get it for quite affordable. It is Lionsgate. So if you're patient, you'll be able to get it for, $10, but maybe without the slipcover, who knows. But this is kind of a cool release. I was watching some of it last night, and I don't know that the picture looked like pristine or anything, but I have to watch some more of it. Up next, I try to get all these 88 Films releases here in the U.S. and a fair amount of them from the U.K. also. And I know this one was released, and then it was pretty affordable, I thought, for 2 movies for like $26 and change. I got Long Arm of the Law, Parts 1 and 2. I actually ordered this again. I ordered it for like the 26 whatever, and then Deep Discount had it for the same price plus a 15% off code, so I ordered it again. I'll be returning one of those to Walmart, which is the other store, the store I originally ordered it from. I also got I think I got a little Top Cash back there from the... Speaking of Top Cash back, these Top Cash back or Rakuten, if you're not using them for your online shopping, you're giving away possible free money, because just for shopping, just say you place an order with a Deep Discount or various other online stores, you use their links and you get a certain percentage depending on the store. And it's just a no-brainer. I mean, I've gotten probably hundreds of dollars for just using these links. You can also get some money up front sometimes during deals. And I do usually have links in my description section so that you can use my referral. I get a little bit, which I don't even know what the deal is anymore. It's very rare that people, I've had a few people that use them, and I've gotten a little bit that way. But, and then you get a little bit too. It's like a gift card. Like I think when I signed up, I got a $10 gift card. And then you can start referring people too, and you can start getting some cash back, which I usually turn into Amazon gift cards. You get a little bit extra, maybe 2% extra to make it an Amazon gift card. And it's just, it works out pretty nicely. All you're doing, say you need to buy something from a store like probably eBay. eBay might only be 1 or 2% back. You just use their link and you do it. Now, I placed an order with Vitacost recently for some food and some health products, and it was like 7 to 9% cash back. So on a $100 order, I got, or close to a $100 order, I got like over $6 back for doing nothing except using their link. So take a look in the description section. You don't pay anything for it. You're just getting money. It's similar to like a credit card rewards program. But Long Arm of the Law, nice set with a nice hard box on the outside. And then the movie. This is how you do it. It's simple. This is how you package movie sets. You give it a hard box. You give each disc its own case, each movie its own case. And that's just top of the line. And then for this to only be $26 and change, absolute beer me. And then from deep discount, I think it ended up being like 23 or whatever. So definitely a beer me. I did order one from Grove recently, which is a movie that I actually liked quite a bit. I know it was somewhat divisive, but it is old here on 4K Steelbook. I had ordered the Blu-ray from them, and they sent me a beat up shit, and then I got a replacement. They sent me another beat up shit, but I got sick of dealing with it. So then they had this for like 13 minus the 20%, so it ends up being around $11, which I thought was a really good price. Now, of course, we do have some denting. I have a case, but there's some denting through here. And then the 4K disc had like a small scratch or two on it. So I have to decide if I want to do another exchange where I'm likely not going to get a mint copy, or just take like 20% off of what I paid to make it even more affordable, like, $9 or whatever. So, but really good movie. And it is a nice, I like how the Steelbook looks, and the damage isn't necessarily a total deal breaker, but it is what it is. So Vinegar Syndrome, let's talk about Vinegar Syndrome. I don't think I showed these off yet. Vinegar Syndrome sales changed at the end of last year, so a year ago. They had 2 sales a year. Before that, they have the halfway to Black Friday sale and the Black Friday sale. Their prices have gone up, even at half off, which it's not really even half off, to be honest, because usually, they got the MSRP price and then they're selling it for a little bit below that. And then I think half off ends up being a savings of about $8 an item, ish. It might not be for everyone, but about $8 an item. Most things don't sell out before they're in a sale, before you can get them for the $8 off. The large majority, especially now because they're making more copies of stuff. So unless you really want it right away, or you think it's going to sell out, you're just throwing $8 out the window every time you buy an item that isn't half off yet. Half off. I think it makes sense if it's something that you really want to watch right away, or it's something that you think has a legitimate chance of selling out. Otherwise, it's just sitting on your shelf and you could have waited 6 months and gotten it for $8 less. So unless you watched it, or unless it sold out, you should have saved that money, donate $8 to somebody who needs it per title. Otherwise, you're just pissing on people that don't have a lot. You're just pissing your money away. Or you could have spent it on your family. You could have bought your children a food or a toy. You could have given your money to somebody who needs it instead of pissing it away. Trying to do like an angry, like Will Ferrell or Chris Farley sort of thing. I guess. So anyway, but I mean, it's true though. You might as well throw money out the window, and somebody who's unfortunate will find it and it'll brighten their day. Otherwise, you're just spending money on something that's going to sit on your shelf and do nothing. Whereas you could have just waited. But back to the Vinegar Syndrome sales. They started doing like after sales. I don't really totally understand the business model here. So they had a 10-year anniversary sale last year. They had the halfway to Black Friday sale. For Black Friday, they spent a month getting people their orders. And then at the beginning of the year, the first week of the year, they did their 10-year anniversary sale where every day, I think they might have had some new releases every day, but they had 10 Vinegar Syndrome movies for $10 each. Which was awesome. Unless you just bought some of those movies for $20 or more. Then you got effed, baby. Now, they not only did that, after the halfway to Black Friday sale this year, they did a warehouse clearing sale where they had every day, I think it was like about 14, no, how did they do it now? They had another sale where there was a bunch of $14 stuff. They had some 4Ks for like 17 or 18. And then they had another sale, like a warehouse. I'm getting a little bit mixed up with it now. They had a warehouse sale where it was just certain movies were discounted that weren't selling for 60, 70% off or whatever, 50. So they're not selling stuff at even the half off prices. They're not, certain items that aren't popular, they're not selling. So now during these 50% off sales, these items, these movies, a lot of these movies are that's no longer going to be their lowest price. So there were several movies after one of these sales, I had paid $22 for a movie, half off. And then right after I got it, because it took a month to ship it, right after I got it, it was $14. So I'm just getting this, and then within a few days, there was 2 or 3 movies where I got boned out of $8, more or less. But you can bitch about it, you can complain about it, or you can learn your lesson. So hopefully I learned my lesson, which is why I only bought 4 movies from this 50% off sale. There's a bunch of other things that I wanted, but they're things that I doubt they're selling very well. I'll just wait. They're going to have another sale in January, which they are. They're having another sale where every day there's certain deals. I think they'll probably be around 14 again, not 10. So the only ones that I got are ones that I don't think will be part of an additional savings sale here. I could be wrong though. You don't know. I think these are probably popular enough titles that they're not going to be a part of this. So that the smart way to do it now is only buy things for 50% off that you think are selling well enough that they're not going to put them on there for 60, 70, 80% off. These are the 4 that I got. The first time this one's been 50% off, it's Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis in Sidekicks 4K. This is one of the real nice VSU sets. It was still 30-something bucks, so it wasn't cheap. So we'll open this baby up, and it's got, they got the box and the slipcover. Here's the Slippy, which is also very nice. You know, Vinegar Syndrome has the nice slipcovers. It's got the 4K and Blu-ray combo, so they give you both. Vinegar Syndrome does a good job, even with pretty crappy movies. And then it does have a booklet in there also. And then it's got like the magnetic closing thing where it kind of, you can really feel it. You can feel the magnet in there, pulling it shut properly. So Sidekicks, that's one I was waiting for. One that I don't think will be part of this sale. I suspect that's sold well enough that they don't need to do additional savings on that right yet anyway. Then I got a Ringo Lam Films called Undeclared War here. Looked to be up the old PMAC alley. I did, maybe that's not a great way of saying it. Undeclared War, so this is one of their, what is it called, VSAs, which when these sell out, there is no regular edition of them for these VSAs. And this seemed like a pretty solid action title directed by Ringo Lam. So for like $22, I snagged that. Is it possible that it's part of this additional sale? Yes, it's possible. I don't think so. I would think that would be one that's selling pretty well. Now, the other two I think were close to selling out or did sell out. We have The Last Matinee, which also got a nice UK release from Arrow, but this one is, I believe this one is considered the best release of it. So when I saw that it was close to selling out, I snagged it. I think it was about $20, possibly a little bit less. This also contains Frankenstein, Day of the Beast feature film, Puppet Pale 5 feature film, probably horrible. But it's considered kind of a modern giallo, from my understanding of it. It is put out by Dark Star Pictures, so this isn't like a Vinegar Syndrome release. It's one of their partner labels, Dark Star. So, director's commentary has quite a few special features, so glad to be able to get that before it sold out. And then another one, I think this one was selling pretty well too. And I like to get these Asian movies, although, you know, some of these didn't sound great, but I wanted to get the set anyway. It is Hong Kong, Made in Hong Kong, Volume 1. So apparently they're going to do more volumes of this. And I had forgotten, actually, that there's like some sort of substance got on this. I don't know if somebody from Vinegar Syndrome, like, jacked it on here or what, but you can see right there. I'd forgotten about it, but I was thinking about emailing them about it, because if I could probably get that off, but I could very well mess up the slip box that way too. So actually I'm going to take a picture of that right now and maybe send them over an email. Because usually with that sort of stuff, you might have to use something like an olive oil or something, and I don't think I'd want to use that on this sort of packaging. So, I mean, if they don't help me with it, it's not a huge deal. It's not like you know, the artwork got messed up or anything. And then you have the slip cover underneath. Again, they just go all out with the packaging, kind of making up for maybe not having the best movies sometimes. And then we have a booklet here for this one. So Made in Hong Kong, Volume 1. They definitely do a good job with these sets. Whether the movies are good or not is another story. So I said I was going to talk. I have talked already for about 20 minutes. So maybe I need to make a separate video. Maybe I lied, and I need to make a separate video about collecting. But maybe I'll just talk briefly, and then if I want to make another one, I will. So I've talked about these sorts of things before. So the haul's done. I'm just gonna chat a few minutes or whatever, wherever the topic takes me. It might not take me very far, or maybe who knows. I think you have to be careful with your consumption of these types of videos, Now, I try to collect in a somewhat, like, it's extreme. It's overboard, the way I collect. I don't need all these movies. Absolutely not. Some people definitely don't have the financial means to do it. Not that I have a lot of money, but I'm fortunate enough to be able to pretty much, buy what I want as long as I'm smart about it. But that's the key, being smart about it. Not buying things most of the time right when they come out, unless there's some sort of special deal, like a Target buy two, get one. It's about turning, let's say, $100. You take a look at mainstream new releases. How many mainstream new releases is $100 going to get you? So say every mainstream new release is $25 plus tax. Here, anyway, that would be about $27 with tax. That doesn't even get you 4 new release movies. It gets you 3 3.75, let's say. So you can get 3.75 for every $100. You can get 3.75. Now, for those mainstream releases, say you wait until those are all $10. So it's going to be $10.80 with tax. That gets you $9.25 of those movies if you wait. And a lot of, for Black Friday, you get slipcovers. Now, here's the thing. If you use Grub, you get 20% off also. So what does that end up being? 8.64. 100 divided by 8.64. That ends up being 11.57. So you can turn what would be, let's just say 4 new releases right when they come out versus waiting and getting those same movies most of the time with slipcovers. We'll even round down 11 of them. 11 versus 4. And that's rounding the opposite ways. I mean, we're looking at, it's really about 11 versus 3, really. If we round down on both of them, it's close enough because we're at 3.7, I think it was, versus 11.57. So it's actually closer to 11 versus 3. I don't know how you justify that unless you have a lot of money. I mean, you think about how much money you make a certain amount of money, and you want that money. You want to stretch that money. Again, is it always smart to wait if you really want something? You want to, my wife wants to watch this. She wants to make a date night out of this movie. If I wait, it's going to be like, let's say 5 months until it drops in price. I'm just going to grab it now. That you can make some sense out of that. You don't always have to wait. But unless, like, if you don't really want the movie that bad, this and that, you're talking turning $100 into 11 movies versus turning $100 into about 3 movies. That's the reality of it. And if you don't have a whole lot of money and you're buying new releases, I'm just going to be straightforward with it. You're being a dipshit. You're being a dipshit because that money could be spent on so many other things. You're just wasting money practically. Now, if somebody's making 6 figures a year, whatever, and they don't have a lot of expenses, but this day and age, if you got kids, if you got a significant other, what are you giving up to buy these new releases? And then there's the internet. It's like people see other people doing it, and that justifies it. There's a psychological component that's really pushed very hard, and it's affected me too. There's a psychological component with the slipcovers. I was never that big into slipcovers until I saw other people valued slipcovers. But part of that is hey, if I ever want to sell this, I can do pretty well here if I have the slipcover. So that's part of it. But the influence of seeing people on YouTube, on Instagram, buying all these new releases. Just because those dummies do it doesn't mean you have to do it. And then you got the people who just get stuff for free too, and then they're pushing it and saying, this is a great release. You should buy this. They didn't buy it. They got it for free. Don't be dumb. I mean, let's be straightforward here. It's hard to be straightforward anymore in this society. Don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. Make decisions that benefit you. Make decisions that don't put you in situations that are more stressful for you. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you should not be buying practically any new releases. It's just stupid. I mean, I don't live paycheck to paycheck, and I don't buy any new releases unless I'm getting a significant discount. Don't watch these people on YouTube and Instagram that are getting these new releases and think you need to get them. You can wait several months, wait until it's half that price or less than half that price, and you beer yourself. You get the same thing for a half or a third of the money. Probably more like a third of the money. You can get the same thing. And that you can afford your food, you can afford everything you need, all your bills, you don't get behind on bills, you don't get into credit debt. By buying new stuff that you don't really have the means to get, you're creating more stress in your life. And it's not just because you don't have a lot of money, it's because you're being a dumb shit. I mean, that's just the reality of it for people in that situation. Stop being a dumb shit. Don't be, oh, those people get to buy these new, I should be able to do it too. Poor me. No, don't get into that thinking. And in the end, having that movie doesn't improve your life. If it does improve your life, it's only for a very, very brief time. Not enough to make it worth it, especially with these new releases. With the boutiques, it's different. With stuff that's going to sell out, it may make sense to buy a $40 boutique movie if it sells out and then it's worth $100. That makes total sense. But when you're buying something that is going to decrease in value by 2/3 within half a year, 8 months, 10, whatever it is, it just doesn't make any sense unless you're pretty well off, in my opinion. I think that's pretty much all I want to say as far as that. I could definitely go in more, but we're already close to a half hour here. And I got some other things I want to do. So, let me know your thoughts on any of that. Just trying to be real. I mean, that's just what I think. It's hard to say stuff anymore. It's like, oh, you're offending me. Well, I mean, be offended if you're, and this, you shouldn't be offended if you're buying one new release here and there. There's some people that just buy like so many of them. If you're only buying movies that you want here and there, that's different. But it's people that are buying like a ridiculous amount of stuff. Like I buy, it's extreme. It's a ridiculous amount of things. But I'm able to do it because, one, I work full time. I have a career. I have a college degree. I've gotten to the point where like I'm pretty secure in my situation, and I'm still not buying new releases. I'm buying a lot of shit, but I'm paying prices that make sense to pay at the value they should be. I'm not buying things. I'm buying things that I can sell and get my money back or possibly get more back. That's pretty much my philosophy. So, some things to consider. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I share these opinions and things, definitely not to gain popularity. It's not going to get me popularity. A lot of people don't like any sort of you're being critical. You're being negative. A lot of people don't like that. They don't want any negativity. At the same time, they're creating issues for themselves, but that's negative. but they don't want any negativity. I mean, this is just being realistic. That's the bottom line. This is just being realistic, sharing what I think. If you don't think the same thing, then you don't think the same thing. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know you listen to this. I appreciate the feedback, appreciate the thoughts, and it's about self-improvement too. I used to be making very little money buying new releases. I mean, not all the time, but it was stupid to do even once in a while for me, because at the time I was making, less than $10 an hour, spending $25 on a new release. It just doesn't make sense. And then I had to grow from that. I had to learn from it and realize for me it didn't make sense. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you have had a good holiday. Hope you have a good New Year and rest of the year. And we will see you next time on PMAC Movies.